Hello people of YouTube, I'm Dreamsearch Repeat and I want to give you the welcome to my channel and this first episode of a series I'm trying to make. This series consists in a challenge I made for myself, which consists in making a different game with different beginner-friendly or low-code game engines. The idea is figure out how to use every game engine and record the game development process, what I did to achieve everything and etc. I'm not going to make tutorials for every engine, but like I say, record how I made every part of the games. Now I introduce everything, let's get started. The first game engine I'm going to use is the first FPS creator that came out, also known as FPS Creator Classic, which one can be downloaded from the game's creator webpage. Also, I'm going to use Black Ice Mod and a series of assets that can be downloaded from the same webpage. Something good about Black Ice Mod, besides the improvement in the graphic part, is that you can start FPS Creator games and the FPS Creator itself without using compatibility mode. Basically, using FPS Creator is pretty simple. When we start the engine, the first thing in appear is this black grid area, which is basically the level editor. Maintaining the click and moving the mouse, we can draw the scene and we can make open areas, close the space, or even both. In the left part, we can choose different stuff to put in our levels. Basically, our assets, once they are installed, are going to appear here. We can also put other elements like the character starting point, likes, or others like that purple box, which is a trigger where we can play sounds or cinematics in a video format when the player walks in. In the upper side of the window we can find that green button, which is the play button to test our levels. First, I didn't have many ideas for the game. Originally, I thought we'd make a game with a story about four protagonists who organized to robbing a bank, and the game could be about exploring the story of every character before the event. But I didn't want to create assets, characters, and else, also I discarded the idea. I wanted to try make the game using only the assets I already download, and I wanted to try the game to make the game fast, and I didn't find the specific asset I needed for this first version of the game, or this first idea. And then I remember a short story I read once in school long time ago. The story was about a man who walked in his house to go to sleep after a long day and found a copy of himself sleeping in his own room and another copy of himself entering the house behind him. Basically making an illusion that everything in the story it's a dream. So I decided to make some kind of adaptation of that story. So I made a house of 2 floors high and I tried to make it look like it's in Europe or Britain. For telling the story I used the story mode blocks and I made them to play some videos which are basically draws I previously made, scanned it and later animated in Blender to give them that fading effect. Later in the stairway I added 2 of those storytelling cubes to make them play sound of opening and closing a door. Later, since FPS Creator has a cube for ending the game, I put it obviously in the end of the level, and to make it play the ending cinematic I just drop over it an storytelling cube with the ending cinematic in it. And I did the same thing for starting the game. In the player's starting position, that big green arrow I dropped on in another storytelling cube. Now, since FPS Creator have for default ammo counter, life counter, gun sight, etc., I had to make them invisible since this is a more artistic game and all those elements doesn't have nothing to do here. All those indicators are sprites. If we enter in a folder where the engine is stored and we delete or change the name of those files, the engine will automatically replace the missing files, sprites numbers for example, with simple text. When I saw that, I decided to simply replace those sprites with another one completely transparent. And that's pretty much it. This game was simple. I spent a week or a little bit less to make it. All the elements I use are assets I previously downloaded for this engine. So conclusions. If you have an idea for a first-person shooter and you have a good story and don't need a specific mechanic for your game, the most basic mechanics for first-person games are good for you. Things like walk, run, jump, shoot, etc. The FPS creator is it's a good game. It's a good game engine. When I was investigating to make the cinematics in the forums, I found that I couldn't make in-game cinematics with the game engine. All cinematic has to be pre-recorded videos and that you put to play with the story blocks. All assets can be found in internet in their GitHub page. Before I forgot, you can actually make new behaviors for the game, but you have to use a specific programming language which I think is Dart Basic, but I don't remember. Well, now one game of this challenge is finished and available in my itch.io page. I conclude this video and wish you a nice day, night, morning or whatever it is in your place.